here to talk about his retirement in just a few months now. Is now retiring UCF Police Chief Richard Beary. Thank you very much for coming in to talk to us this afternoon, and thank you for your many years of service. 41 years total at as a uniformed police officer, 11 for UCF.
It's been a long time, and thank you for allowing me the opportunity to be here.
Yeah, I want to ask you, how has law enforcement changed, in your time as a law enforcement officer?
Well, I started in 1977, so probably one of the biggest things that's changed is technology. When I first became a police officer, we didn't have portable radios. We had the in-car radios. We thought it was big news when we got a fax machine because we had no way of checking people's fingerprints in the field. So when we got a fax machine, it was a big deal. So the technology, and now with computers in the car and DNA, that wasn't a thing when I was there. None of those things happened. So there's been this huge explosion that has happened in the technology and the science area.
And that's made, that's made investigations go much quicker.
Oh, absolutely. Years ago when I started, if you had a serial rapist, it was very difficult to tie those cases, particularly if they came from other states. And now we have programs and databases that tie those cases together almost immediately. So huge changes.
So before UCF, what jurisdiction, what city or cities did you work for?
I started off in the city of Altamont Springs and was there for 15 years, worked my way up through the ranks, and then I went to Lake Mary as the chief of police, and I spent another almost 15 years in Lake Mary, and then I went to the University of Central Florida for the last 11 years.
What are the differences of being a police chief of a university police department and working for an actual police department in an actual city?
Well, a university police officer is the same as being a municipal police officer. We have the same authority, we have the same arrest authority. The difference is at a university there's a higher standard of care. And the reason that higher standard of care exists is because you have people's children. And not only do we abide with state law and county ordinances and city ordinances, but we come under federal jurisdiction with the Clery Act. So we're held to a higher standard of care for reporting, for how we deal with crimes, for the information that we push out to our students, faculty, and staff. So it's a more difficult environment to work in that the scrutiny we get is very high on how we do our job.
And had that changed over the 11 years that you were the police chief?
Tremendously. There have been, now we have to do alerts for crimes that happen or dangerous situations that happen. The reporting requirements are very difficult, and the fines are very steep if we don't do what we're supposed to do by federal law. So it's a challenging environment to work in.
And schools, schools used to be considered a very safe place, but unfortunately we've learned over the years that things can happen anywhere. Over the years, have you had to increase your training? Have the officers been the number of officers been increased?
Yeah, the number of officers have increased. Our training has changed tremendously. Now we have to be prepared. Not only do we deal with football games and concerts and all that, but now we have to be concerned about vehicle-borne attacks and terrorist-type attacks and Las Vegas-type attacks. So our training constantly changes and is upgraded by things that happen all across, not only the country, but across the globe. So I can tell you this, when you come to a function at UCF, the security plan has been very well thought through, it's been vetted, and we work with every agency, and not only the Central Florida, but with the state and federal agencies to ensure that everybody's safe when you're at one of our events.
If you're just joining us, we're talking with UCF's Police Chief Richard Beary, who's about to be retiring at the end of the school year, right?
June 30th.
Yeah, so that's, and what are your plans after retirement?
Well, I have a house in North Georgia, and I'm going to be moving up there. I've got one grandson now. I'll have another grandson that's due next week, and I have a granddaughter that's due in February. So I plan on spending some time with my family, riding my motorcycle and doing some things that I haven't done for quite a while.
11 years with UCF. That is, you know a little bit about the university, and I told you I had a surprise question for you before we started. UCF Knights. Are they national champions?
Oh, absolutely. I've been at all the football games, and I was at the Peach Bowl, and I watched how we played against Auburn, and without a doubt, they are national champions. On and off the field, these young men are very focused. They've been fun to work with, but more importantly, the skills that they have put out there on the field, they clearly are national champions, and I think finally people are starting to recognize our program is exceptional.
University of Central Florida used to be, it was a quiet college, university, and it has just expanded so much. What are you going to miss most about it? I've got a couple of seconds left, but I want to ask you, what are you going to miss most?
Interacting with the students, the faculty, and staff. And when you see the innovative things that are going on, like our Limitless program, where our students use 3D printers and help people that have had amputations and are missing limbs. I mean, those are the things that just, when you see these things, it makes you just proud to be a part of these kind of programs. And the athletic programs, when you see these young people excel and become incredible human beings, it makes you proud to be a part of that environment.
Okay. Well, Chief Richard Beary with University of Central Florida is going to be retiring at the end of June. Thank you very much for coming in and talking with us, and we wish you the best.